Hello everyone, and welcome. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about amines. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how to name amines. I'm going to talk about how to name them using common names. I will do IUPAC names in a separate lesson. So, just to review, an amine is an organic derivative of ammonia in which one or more alkyl cycloalkyl aryl groups is attached to the nitrogen atom. So what we mean is that we have a nitrogen atom, which has a lone pair, and normally ammonia looks like this. But what we're talking about here is where we've replaced one of the hydrogens with an R group. And it could be more than one, could be all three, in fact. So we have three different kinds of amines generally. We have a primary amine, which is an amine in which the nitrogen atom is bonded to. So a primary amine is this, where we have nitrogen and one R group and two hydrogens. A secondary amine is where we have two R groups. So secondary amine is where you've got two R groups. Now, I'm picking which hydrogens to replace at random. It doesn't matter, they're all equivalent. And a tertiary amine is where there are no hydrogens left and all we have are R groups. So here's a better image of primary, secondary, tertiary amines. So naming amines, common names, used most commonly. This is what, in the real world, this is what you mostly see. You don't see IUPAC names hardly at all. It's pretty much only the common names. And these are going to be very much like the common names we used for ethers. Remember, an ether, if you had something like this, you'd call this diethyl ether, or this would be ethyl methyl ether. Well, in the same way, what we'll do is basically we're treating every R group as a substituent on the nitrogen. The one difference off of the way we named, the major difference from the way we named ethers in the common names is that it's all one word. So it's going to be alphabetical order, but it'll all be one word. And with ethers, remember, we always had two things attached. It was always two R groups. Well, with amines, it could be 1, 2, or 3, depending on if it's a primary, secondary, or tertiary amine. So it's all one word, and di and tri are used when more than one identical group is present. So here's some examples. So ethylamine. So the reason we call this first one ethylamine is because we treat the perspective we look at when using common names is sort of the root or the parent is the nitrogen, and everything else is just a substituent. So this is an ethylamine. So ethyl group. Here, we look at the nitrogen, then we have a methyl and another methyl. So this is that should not be diethyl. That should be dimethylamine. Sorry for the error. This one on the right here, we have the nitrogen, and we have three substituents. We have an ethyl group, a methyl group, and a propyl group. So it's ethyl-methyl-propylamine. A couple other examples we could do if I had something like So we look at this, nitrogen. I've got a butyl group on the right here. Okay? I have a butyl group. And I've got two methyl groups. So I'd call this butyl dimethylamine, right? So I'm just listing out what the substituents are. And remember, when we do common names, the perspective is from the perspective of treating the branches as though they're substituents. So if we saw something like this, right? The two substituents we have we have an ethyl group, and this is an isopropyl. Now we just put them alphabetically. So this is ethyl, isopropyl, amine, all one word. So I hope that clears some things up. Let me do one or two more quick examples, and then that's pretty much all there is for naming amines using common names. So let's do another one here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just pentyl amine, right? If I did something like this, make that more clear here. So we look at the groups. We have a propyl group, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hexyl group. So we just put them in alphabetical order. This becomes hexyl dipropyl amine. It's as simple as that. Okay, hope that helps.